Support me and be on my wall of supporters. Thank you, my nerd. Look at this beautiful RGB filled controller. I don't usually cover controllers that often on this channel anymore, but when something actually pops, when something really is different from all the clutter and noise that we have out there, this really needs to be talked about a little. You know, there's a lot of controllers that are simply boring. Look at this one, my dear nerds. You must really love RGB to love this one. Even if you don't love RGB, you should continue watching this video because this Abxylute C8 controller is actually chock full of features. It has a removable plate, it has removable sticks, it has, well, you know what? I actually think we should start with specs. But before we start with specs, I just need to show you this RGB again and just how glowy it is and that cool light at the base of the charging unit. This is the kind of stuff that doesn't have any real practical use, just like all RGB for that matter, but it's so nice to look at, you simply enjoy a product more. We're gonna look at the specs together. This controller, the C8, is not really expensive, $55. Nobody can put a blame on it being overpriced, especially for what it offers. It can mask as an Xbox controller, as a Switch Pro controller, and as a normal run-of-the-mill general universal peasant controller. You have a big battery, which is also nice, all joysticks and triggers, so you don't have to ever worry about stick drift. Then what else do we have here? Of course, it works via Bluetooth, it works wired, it also works with one of those very small dongles, USB dongles, which you can just stick in your PC if you don't want to deal with all that Bluetooth nonsense. And of course, it works with everything under the sun. In fact, let me bring the box. Let's check out the box of this thing. The first thing that we see on the box is that it works on basically everything with a screen. Windows PCs, Mac OS, Steam Deck, Switch, Android devices, iOS devices, and I'm willing to bet it also works on budget Linux handhelds, because more or less it can emulate a normal controller on everything. But hey, this is just a hunch from my end. Now, coming back, let's see what other stuff we have here on the side. We said, very nice whole joysticks, no drift, no dead zone, no latency. That's a bold claim. We have pretty cool triggers. By the way, I played with this controller. I'm gonna show it to you a bit later in the video. Right now we're just skimping a bit through the specs, so I give you a bit of context. Of course, you can switch the ABXY buttons, so you have that Nintendo kind of layout, if you like that. I pray that you don't like that, but who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Yeah, you do you, my beautiful nerd. 600 milliamp battery, which, hey, it doesn't seem like a lot, but in the world of controllers, it's actually quite a bit more. The standard is 500, 600 is better than 500, right? It has motion control for all of those Nintendo Switch nerds that want to use this on the Switch. This is pretty nice. Docking convenience. I actually love this. I love this to bits, and I'm gonna show you why. You see, the main thing about this dock, of course, you can charge the controller with it. You can auto reconnect, intelligent on off, but the hub expansion, this is generally quite interesting. You see, it can do anything that it said. It's a nice dock, you know, it sits nice there. It's pretty sexy looking as far as a piece of tech goes. But look at this. We take this off. Lo and behold, what do we have here? We have a tiny USB. How awesome is this, my nerd? How freaking awesome is this? Pretty awesome, I would say. Very awesome. What this actually means is that instead of taking one USB for the dock and another USB for the dongle, you can simply pop this lid off over here and put your dongle in this USB. What would happen is, remember, you're already using a USB to connect the dock to your PC, right? Now the dock itself will use that dongle for the wireless connection between your gamepad, between the Abxylute C8 and the actual laptop that the dock is connected to. So you don't have to waste another USB. I think this is a very good design. I think a lot of controllers should do this by default. This is just freaking innovation right here. You know, this dongle, in my use case, will never leave this base again. The base will always need to be charged, so this just made the Bluetooth connection, in my opinion, redundant in a good way. I love this. Coming back to the controller, we also have a removable faceplate. Actually, you know what? Let me take this off real quick, and we can also change the buttons. Give me a second. There we go. And you might be asking me, Vlad, what are you gonna change the joysticks with? You just took them off. Well, my dear nerd, I'm gonna show you. Be patient. You see, in the box over here, we actually have... By the way, I love the fact that they're using recyclable cardboard. This is very nice. We actually have 2 extra sticks which are taller, in case you prefer taller sticks. Abxylute, in this fairly normal price range of $55, actually gives you replacement bigger sticks in case you want them. How beautiful is this? Now, I kind of scratched them because I tend to be a brute with my sticks here, but how nice is this? We have replacements. Who gives this kind of customizability, you know? Like, this is good. But there's one big criticism that I have with this controller. Thankfully, it can be fixed. However, it shouldn't have been here in the first place. Let me just quickly assemble this back. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna do it on camera with the new sticks, because that's how I roll, with the taller ones. And I think that's it. Yes, I heard the click. Oh, the faceplate would normally... Ooh, strong magnets, holy. The faceplate would normally go on, right? I just need to make sure... Yeah. It's on, and the sticks are, whoa, way taller now. Do you see just how much we gained in stick height here? It's kind of crazy. You know, in fact, I'm gonna change the sticks back to the previous ones, because I think these are just a bit too tall for me. The one thing that I don't like is that they made their logo RGB as well. Abxylute, I like your products. You make nice controllers. The handheld that you made, the Abxylute One, was very nice. You have good brand recognition. Don't give us your brand name in pure RGB. You know, I understand branding, but come on. This is a good controller. However, you know what? Wait a second. You make great controllers, but this needs to be fixed right here, right now. Not my best handiwork, but no. There we go. Now, this is, in my humble Vlad Nerd opinion, way better. Now the controller can be used in a cool manner that it was originally designed to do. Look at how much more beautiful this is. RGB aside, how does it perform? Well, it's already connected to my PC because I put the dongle into the base and the base is now connected to the PC. So remember, this is a big plus. I haven't seen this in any other controllers out there. Personally, I love this feature. In my attempt to be cool, I decided to run the Steam OS, Steam Cloud Steam Deck that I made from the mini PC from a few videos ago and connected to this controller. What you see right now as a Steam Deck is actually my mini cloud mini PC, which I want to make a future video on if you're interested. But everything that you see in this screen is basically streamed over my network. And this controller is, I would dare say, immensely accurate. It compensates for even the latency that I would have while streaming any game. Let's test a bit of Tomb Raider, why not? Where exactly do I need to go? I forgot where I left off, so... Apparently that little arrow is there, but how am I gonna get there? No, I always appreciated Lara for having so much stamina and so much energy. Do you know how hard it is to sprint walk like this through water? I couldn't do it. Maybe I'm old, but I couldn't do it. However, coming back to this controller, this performs beautifully. My dear nerds, there's no words to describe this. You might see the controller inverted, but ignore that. It's sensitive, it's exactly how it should be. I have no problems controlling Lara. Even the vibration motors work to Sunshine. You know, you can't really use vibration motors on Android with GeForce Now. You can with Sunshine. Another reason why you should have good vibration motors. All in all, I would say that the Abxylute C8 far surpasses what an Xbox controller would. You know, Xbox controllers weren't all that special in the first place. However, when I use this Abxylute C8 now, and I search in my brain data banks of how my Xbox controller used to feel in terms of sensitivity, this one really takes the cake. You know, I hope you do like RGB. I kept saying this, but even if you don't, it's a very good controller. The simple fact that it's connected via the hub and that you can actually enjoy what you play with this, I think it's simply amazing. You see, my nerds, the value proposition isn't that you're getting anything truly out of the ordinary. Well, you get that through the dock combination. Really love the combination with this dock. The controller itself promises to be more or less as good as the Xbox One, better in generational things that improved along the way, like the sticks are better, we have whole sticks and triggers. The original Xbox didn't have any of this. In fact, you know what, I will rephrase, it's just a better controller all around. We also have customizable buttons here. Do you see these two extra buttons? You can customize them however you want. You have a dedicated Xbox button here. The home acts as a Steam button or Xbox button, whatever you want. Then you have buttons here for the macros and other combinations. In fact, check this out. You have a screenshot button, the turbo button, you know, a lot of buttons here. Menu, view button, we know what those are. These we can set to anything we want, really. Overall, a very nice controller. The pogo pins on the back so that they touch the pins on this dock. My takeaway from this, for the simple fact that it can connect through the dock, I think this is, without sounding cheesy, such a game-breaking, in a good way, not in a bad way, game-enhancing, let's call it, feature. I love this thing. It's that simple. There's not much else to say, you know? It's a controller I love. the sticks are sensitive. I have absolutely no problem controlling Lara. I tried many other games before this video. I really think you should get it. There's a link in my video description. Get it directly from Abxylute. You know, they are actually nice guys. I don't know what your impression of them is. Mine is actually a very good one. Otherwise, I wouldn't make this video. So yeah, do you love RGB? I hope you do love RGB, but even if you don't, you can turn all of this flashy stuff off and just enjoy the practicality of the dock. Anyway, my dear nerds, let me know what you think. As always, I love you very much. I'm gonna keep this. This will be in my permanent tech stack. In fact, I already paired it with the mini PC which I streamed from, which you saw as a cloud Steam Deck. It's actually running Bazite, but yeah, that is a whole other video for another time. Let me know what you think of this controller. You know, like, pretty good for what it is. So, we'll see each other in the next video. I love you very much. Don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't. I would really appreciate it if you did. Bye, my dear nerds. See you in the next one.